Welcome, everybody. How's it going? Do you have your coffee? I do have my coffee and my squeaky chair. It is perfect to start the adventure. So, what are the 17 worlds? What is this about? What is this channel about? So, let me introduce it a little bit. These are the fantasy worlds that begin with a chosen hero. Not me, of course. There, there are fantasy worlds that begin with war. There are fantasy worlds that begin with a prophecy, a crown, a dragon, or a dungeon door waiting for some poor fool to open it. This universe begins with something larger and colder than that. It begins with 17 worlds, each one vast enough to swallow empires, each one carrying its own people, laws, monsters, climates, gods, roads, economies, and scars. It begins before the main story, before the famous names, before the legends have hardened into statues. It begins with the structure. The 17 worlds are not one kingdom with many provinces. They are not one planet with different countries. They are separate core worlds linked by world portals, each with each own geography, species, pressure, survival logic, and civilization temperament. To understand this universe, you cannot begin asking who is the strongest. That is the shallow question. The better question is this: what kind of world produces what kind of people, and what happens to worlds that develop separately are finally forced to meet. This is the spine of the settings. 17 core worlds mature apart, knowing from the beginning that others exist, but unable to touch them for 500 years. They grow in isolation, but not in ignorance. Every race begins with knowledge, every people receives direction, every society inherits warnings, crafts, laws, and a sense that the universe is larger than their own horizon. Then, after centuries of preparation, the portals open. Excuse moi. This is not a soft multiverse where everything blends immediately into harmless wonder. The opening of portals is not a tourist season like you're now tourist here listening to this. It is a civilization earthquake. Roads that once ended at dormant archers become trade arteries. Old myths become border policies. Priests called clerics. Merchants, warriors, farmers, nobles, smugglers, monsters, healers, refugees, cultists, and criminals. Which one of you, each of your own, can find yourself in this story? All beginning to move through the network that was known for centuries, but unavailable to the hand. The universe itself does not become smaller, it becomes reachable. That matters because every world was shaped by different pressure. A world of mountains and deep stones makes the different laws than a world of rivers and fields. A world of infernal hierarchy teaches different manners than a world of halflings hospitality. A death saturated world has different assumptions about bodies, memories, and labor than a living forest. A poisoned tunnel world produces a different kind of threat and than an open plain of herds, shamans, and migration routes. The first thing to understand is the scale. These worlds are not small stage backgrounds, they are huge. Distance matters, roads matters, rivers matters, and weather matters. Wagons break, animals need fodder, ships need crew. Portals do not erase geographically. They are connected worlds at specific places. A portal can bring a caravan from one world to another, but once that caravan arrives, it is still has to survive the road. There are no cars, no trains, no self moving engines, no rifle lines, no gunpowder enemies waiting to flatten the fantasy logic in this universe. Civilizations advance through animals, roads, wagons, ships, magic, runes, alchemy, sanitation, craft mastery, law, food, guilds, and logistics. That technology ceiling is important. It keeps the world grounded. A powerful kingdom cannot simply throw engines at every problem. An army cannot outrun hunger. A merchant cannot ignore mud. A ruler cannot govern a continent by pretending distance is not real. A city survives because bakers bake, walls, I mean wells are clean, bridges hold, beasts are fed, wagons arrive, roofs are repaired. Did you repair your roof? Did you? Laws are witnessed, and some with a spear or spell stands watch when the road goes back. That's probably you. Power in this universe is not just fire from the sky. Power is infrastructure that does not collapse when winter comes. The 70 worlds also share higher cosmic law. In this universe, war is not free everywhere. Large scale war outside the lawful war world is watched by divine authority. That does not make the universe peaceful. It means that violence is constrained, redirected, hidden, ritualized, criminalized, or moved into lawful outlets. Kings may rule, like you will, or not, but they do not own the cosmos. Nobles may hold the land, but land is burden, not limitless by permission. Merchants may trade, but trade is not excuse to hollow out living settlements. Guilds may organize dangerous professions, but they are not armies in costume. The universe is full of power, but power is surrounded by consequences. That is the one reason the settings should not feel like a simple grim dark. It has horror, cruelty, corruption, greed, hunger, plague, slavery, and ugly places. Criminal networks, predatory nobles, dangerous goods, and monsters that do not care about human comfort. Neither yours, that you're just drinking a coffee or a tea, if you're British. But it also has a law that can bite upward. It has villages that survive through cooperation than extractions. Hold on, let me get a coffee. It has guilds that exist before the danger needs structure. It has books, coffee, something was in it. It has books of life that prevent total civilization, ignorance. It has dragons that may ruin hoarders, not because they are justice itself, but because greed attracts bigger greed. It has cosmic warnings against armies being used as toys. It has enough darkness to feel real, enough resistance to prevent nihilism from, the, from becoming the only truth. Now, walk through the worlds as listening, enter this universe for the first time. Now, you will find yourself wherever you will find yourself. Whatever structure, world, planet, that is up to you. The first world is the crucible, not a homeland in the ordinary sense, but the lawful theater of total war. It is the release valve, the place where war can exist without tearing all the other worlds apart. Fortresses, campaigns, extraction sites, salvage towns, treaty grounds, field hospitals, armed farms, and military roads matter there. It is not chaos for chaos' sake, it is war given a legacy geography. There is Draconis, a world of volcanic mesas, crystal wastes, lava cut basins, mineral wealth, dragonborn brine, cobalt labor, layers, fort sites, hordes, clan dominance, and draconic prestige. Its societies are built around possession, craft, fire, bloodline, and the weight of being watched by creatures for whom greed and dignity are often dangerous close together. Then there is Kaz Gore, the deep world of caverns, fungal forests, buried rivers, mind walls, Dugergar, excuse me, pressure, draw, politics, deep gnome survival, and the endless reality of stone overhead. Surface logic does not rule in this world. Food is grown in darkness, roads are tunnels, light is a tool, a signal, a danger, or a luxury, depending who see it first. Then there is Aegis, a world of dwarven holds, mountain disciplines. Firbolgs hold the meadows, stone roads, or duty, drink, craft, and the old truth that a civilization built underground must master air, water, food, fire, waste, and defense before it can afford poetry. Its strength is not just metal, its strength is continuity under pressure. Then there is Felenor, the elven forest world, where civilization is cultivated rather than imposed. Living towers, root shrines, hiding canopies, high courts, blowouts, old grudges, moonlight rites, and ecological maintenance all shape society. Beauty is not effortless there. Living architecture must be maintained. Forest politics can be as sharp as any blade. Then there is Astral Expanse, a world of silver ruins, broken fortresses, psionic aftertaste, disciplined monasteries, martial citadels, and changeling adaptation. Identity, mind, discipline, and social fluidity become civilization tools. What other worlds settle with walls, the astral expanse may settle with will. Then there is elsewhere, built from deserts, savannas, cliff cities, jungles, margins, straight arteries, catfolk's movement, Vulpera caravans, flying people, scouts, hunters, and predator awareness. Static empires struggle where movement is wisdom, and in that world a good route can be worth more than a palace. Then there is Kogrot, where gnomes, satyrs, and fairies inherit a world of fruits, hollows, woodcraft, lift system, sap workshop, poorlet halls, forest, signal networks, in enhancement grooves, jokes with teeth, and engineering does not need engines to be clever. Kogrot can look whimsical from the outside, but whimsy is not stupidity. It is a culture that learned to smile while building complicated things inside living woods. Then there is Etheria, the warm surface heart of rivers, fart fishing farms, fishing coast, ferries, hospitality, halfling villages, Tuskar, water lives, turtle patience, and triton depths. It is low conflict by cultural direction, not because nothing bad can happen. Food, peace, markets, jokes, feasts, and cooperation matter there. It is one of those best examples of a world where civilization does not need domination to be real. Then there is Gramsh, that is perfect for some of you. A harsh world of volcanic badlands, iron wastes, and deserts. Furnace valleys, strongholds, scarcity, and brutal disciplines. Orcs, goblins, hobgoblins, bugbears, and gnoblars, ogres, and evolved warrior culture are shaped by pressure. Their societies do not get to be soft first and organized second. Survival trains them early, as they should, as it should. Then there is Terra. Probably 80% of you will find yourself here, because humans, of course. The most broadly mixed world, full of coast plains, forests, tundra, mountains, river cultures, frontier societies, kingdoms, city leagues, and species overlap. Terra is variety made politics. It is where many kings of civilization can exist beside each other, fight each other, trade with each other, marry into each other, and misunderstand each other for centuries, as is normal. Then there is Zarnrod, the poisoned rust world of Kritari, a subterranean plague tunnel species in another worlds. Rats, shaped by overcrowding, toxins, dirty alchemy, rusted workshops, forced labor, sabotage, false paper, sewers, rot, and internal treachery. They are not a clean conquest machine. They are contamination pressure. They spread through weakness, negligence, disease, tunnels, and soft points. Then there is Lustria, streaming and primordial, full of temple cities, swamps, geomatic sites, ancient predators, dinosaurs, ritual odors, skinks, saurons, and crocigors, mounted pressure, and sacred designs. It is not a place low ranks full casually walk into. Some worlds are dangerous because of people are cruel. Lustria is dangerous because the ecology is itself enormous. Then there is Scourge, a death-soaked world of necropolises, grave empires, liches, vampires. What? Wait. Liches, vampires, ghosts, warforged, cursed wastes, Osiri, Usuri, roads, eternal centuries, and cold anti-life industry. It is not simple evil skeleton land. It is a civilization asking what continuity means when ordinary life is no longer the center of society. Then there is Aravos, the world of plains, mesas, sacred valleys, migration roads, spirit geography, taurins, beast folks, centrigors, centaurs, trolls, beornings, herds, seasonal roads, water memory, land duty, and practical communal cultures. It is wide spiritual, physical, and grounded in movement than walls alone. Then there is Abyss, not an infinite plane, but a chaotic cold core world of unstable terrain, predatory metaphysics, warped ecology, internal power struggle, demons, mutation, hunger force, and shifting claims. It is terrible because it cannot comfortably remain still. Then there is nine hells, a world of infernal cities, hierarchy, tribute, ritual laws, surveillance, coercion, obligation, and brutal stability. Devils do not need to be cartoon contract lawyers to be dangerous. A system can bind you through rank, debt, fear, custom, hostage, favor, and the knowledge that disobedience has paperwork behind the knife. And above all mortal settlement stands Gaia, not settled by ordinary races, watching from beyond direct ownership. Gaia is not simply another province in the network. It is origin of myth defined with distance, and one of the reasons that settings remember that mortal politics are not the highest layer of reality. The heart of this universe that you just heard is not one of the hero solving everything. The heart of collision under rules. What happens when Etheria cooperation meets infernal administration? What happens when Kitare plague logic means guild quarantine law? What happens when dwarven trait reaches Draconic's horde culture? What happens when Lustria ecological danger becomes a portal city problem? What happens when a village from one of the world refuses to honor a noble dead from another world because the Book of Life says foreign claim does not automatically cross the portal? That is where the settings breathe. The worlds are not just places on the list, they are engine on consequences. So when this universe begins, do not imagine a map with decorate names. Imagine 17 enormous living systems. Each has food, each has weather, each has fear, each has laws and monsters. Each has stories of how people should behave when strangers alive. Each has reason to distrust the other, and each has something that others need. This is the opening promise of the 17 worlds. The universe is not waiting for one person to matter. It already matters. The worlds are alive before the story begins. And when the portals open, they do not become one happy kingdom. They become a problem large enough to build a saga around. Another way to understand the 17 worlds is to stop thinking of them as settings and start thinking of them as pressure. You get that? I hope you do. A world is not only terrain, it is a precious system that trains everybody born under it. A mountain world trains patience, mining, air, discipline, stone, memory, and suspicious of fragile things. A river world trains boats, floats, hospitality, trade, fish, bridge, and politics. A desert world trains water, law, route memory, caravan etiquette, and ability to read danger at distance. A deaf world trains corpse procedure, memory, command, and different relationships with fear. A living forest world trains maintenance, restraint, ecology, long memory, and the danger of touching what only looks gentle. That means that species are not floating costume plates randomly on the map. They grow out of pressure. The same play, the same people placed in different worlds would become something else over generation. A people who must cross open plains learn signals, herd movement, storm reading, and politics of water. A people who live underground learns airflow, fungi, stone stress, tunnel rights, silence, and the absolute horror of fire in the wrong chamber. Time for my coffee. Did you get your coffee yet? A people who live around portals learns custom, quarantine, translation, fraud detection, and how easily strangers become either salvation or ruin. This gives the universe a strong internal logic. When traveler enters a new world, they are not just changing the scenery, they are entering a civilization trained by a different consequences. Even even a friendly world can be dangerous if misunderstood. A peaceful village may be insulted by behavior that a fortress culture considers normal. A loafer in Infernal City may appear safer than a chaotic frontier town, but only if you understand that hierarchy before you accidentally place yourself inside an obligation. A dwarven hold may feed a stranger generously, but still demand precise behavior around storage, fire, and sealed passages. A halfling feast may look casual, but social memory there can push a disturber of peace harder than a Brighton fight. This also changes how stories should be told in the universe. A shallow story asks who wins in the fight. A story a stronger story asks what did the fight sorry what did the fight damage? Did the bridge fall? Did the granary burn? Did the guild lose the trust? Did the village lose its healer? Did the monster kill livestock instead of people? And does the still that mean famine? Did outsider kill a creature that local settlement had accepted as a protector? Did a noble pride delay a dungeon response until the road became unsafe? Did a merchant save a town with grain, or did he trap it in dependency? Consequences is where the settings becomes deep. The worlds in this universe are also not balanced like game arenas. Some are softer in social temperament but rich in community resilience. Some are physical brutal but politically honest in their own harsh way. Some are beautiful and dangerous because of old magic does not care about human convenience. Some are orderly but cruel. Some are chaotic but strangely free. A low, a low conflict world is not automatically weak. A violent world is not automatically strong. Strength depends on what problem is being faced. Eltarian cooperation may survive refugee pressure better than a proud kingdom. Dwarven logistic may outlast a flashy army. Lustrian temple discipline may understand ecological danger long before a foreign court stops arguing. The 17 worlds therefore reward a viewer who asks practical questions. What do people eat? How far is the nearest road? Who owns the ferry? What happens to the dead? Who may speak for a village? What does the rank mean outside its home walls? Can a noble claim land he cannot defend? How does a peaceful culture stop exploiting? How does a harsh culture avoid eating itself? What does trade look when there are no engines? What does law look when debts cannot automatically cross the worlds? These are not the side questions, they are machinery out of this universe. Even the absence of modern weapons is not just aesthetics. No guns and no engines mean bodies, animals, roads, and craftsmen remain central. A powerful mage matters, but so does a wagon master who knows how to pass before the snow. A sword master matters, but so does the person who keeps the boats repaired. A king matters, but so does the clerk who prevents a forged claim from stealing a widow's house. A dragon matters, but so does the cook who feeds the guild expedition that will investigate it, investigate the burned bridge. The setting keeps power wide, not narrow. The world portals then act as the ultimate test of all those systems. If the worlds were isolated forever, each could believe its own habits were the only sense habits. That the portal destroys that illusion. Suddenly, every world must compare itself against others. Then the peaceful must learn the defense without losing peace. The harsh must learn trade without turning every negotiation into dominance. The ordered must learn that not all freedom is rebellion. The chaotic must learn that some rules exist because bodies pile up when they do not. A wealthy must learn that wealth smells different to dragons. The careless must learn that dungeons do not care about excuses. So the real hook of the 70 worlds is not simply all the planets connected by portals. It is that each world is strong enough to have its logic, and the portal age forces those logics to collide. A good story can begin in a kitchen, a court, a guild desk, or you drinking a coffee, a frontier fence line, a ferry, a sealed dungeon, a portal inspection, a, or a tavern argument, like you have with your own wife or a girlfriend, a funeral rite, a trade contract, or a monster den. Because universe is a systemic, small events can become larger if they touch the right pressure point. That is the invitation of the settings. Do not look only for the biggest sword, look for the system under the sword, look for the food behind the army. Yeah, sorry. Look for the army. Uh, Look for the road behind the market. Look for the law behind the door. Look for the fear behind the custom. Like your custom coffee. Yeah, sorry, too much coffee. Look for the mistake that seems too small until our world reacts. And that includes or finishes my presentation. I hope you liked it. Uh, I purposely borked some of the stuff because I don't want you to think that my voice is AI generated. Also, my voice is real, and I hope you enjoyed. And see you in the next video. Bye.